Today I got a turntable for snobs. You know who you are. You people that have the banging Olufsen little new age kind of yuppie systems in your nice little perfect houses with your little perfect systems. Well, I have one of your perfect turntables here to fix. Let's check it out. A Bang & Olufsen Beogram 1600. This is the Bang & Olufsen Beogram 1600. Piece of crap turntable. I just pissed off half the audio files out there. This is a unit that was brought to me by one of my cousins years ago and kind of abandoned because it's not, well, still not repaired, but I'm going to try and get this thing going. The problem with this one, as we found out probably 15 years ago, is power transformer is open. Whoops. Well, if I have it in the right mode, but the power transformer is open. Infinite resistance, primary burnt up. No parts available. There was no parts available for this thing when I got it, and I got this thing probably 20 years ago. And the cousin that owned it, he passed away a few years back, so he doesn't need it back. So I've been sitting on this thing for probably 20 years, and I thought maybe, just maybe, I can get this thing working, because after all, it's just a transformer, right? How difficult can that be? I bet if I crack open one of these things, I can get a transformer that'll work. What do you guys think? Is it worth a try? I think so. Let's crack open a transformer and see whether I can get one that will work inside this thing. Now, I've already looked at this, so the transformer that was in here has already actually been removed. I don't know anything about it, other than I think it probably runs between 16 and 24 volts, just looking at the capacitors. So we'll open up the bottom. There's no transformer in it now, and then I'll try to find a transformer that will work. So here's the guts to this thing. As you can see, it looks like this motor only takes about 3 volts. It says DC 3 volts. It's a servo motor, so it's 4 wires. 2 of them are going to be for the internal frequency generator, and this being a belt drive turntable, I wonder if the belt's any good. That'll be the next thing. Probably have to find a belt for it because it's been sitting so long, but we'll see. It's a mechanical automatic mechanism, as you can see. Actually very simple compared to the complex mechanism that the duals had. This is very simple. It's just a single. It's the same idea. It's just a cam, but it's a small plastic gear in this case, because you know plastic is better than metal, I guess. I think this is the mute switch here to mute the sound, or is that the mute switch? Anyway, a couple switches, a couple speed controls, a fuse here. This fuse, 350 milliamps, is not blown. Therefore, we know that this board's probably fine. 470 microfarad capacitor rated at 40 volts. A couple more. I think these are fuses over here. I'm not sure. Anyway, pretty straightforward. Get your servo circuit, speed control, and motor. Pretty simple circuit. Transformer that's missing goes over here. You can see where it blew. It actually blew pretty good. Sparked pretty good when it went. Got hit with a power surge is what happened on this one. Anyway, gotta find a transformer. So let's go crack that adapter open. I'm gonna do it off camera because I'm gonna take it outside and smack it with a hammer, and we'll see what comes out of it. This is what I ended up with. Right? I figure what I'll do is I'll attach the cord to the prongs here. We'll wrap it up in tape and attach the low voltage, because this is an AC transformer. It's not a DC output. Of course, we know that because of the full wave bridge rectifier over here and the regulator. So this is going to be an AC input on this thing as opposed to a DC input. So let me get that transformer prepped, and we'll get that hooked up. Going to strip a bit of insulation off of the wire here. As you can hear, the wind is starting to whip up out there. They're saying speeds of 80 kilometers an hour, gusts of 80 kilometers an hour today. Like literally, it rained all night, and then literally 10 minutes ago it was bright sunshine, and now it's clouded over. It's getting dark. The wind is coming, and we're going to get torrential rain soon. I'm going to use my solder wire, high quality, from China. This stuff's not bad. I've been using this stuff for years. I would prefer Kester, but this works okay. Get some heat on these pins here. That should work. Put some good old black electrician's tape over the 120 volt connection. Safety first. Okay, now this transformer is safe to plug in. I mean, it would have been safe to plug in without covering up those pins anyway. I just wouldn't stick my fingers on them, but now this should be safe. We'll test this transformer and make sure it's putting out the voltage. I'm expecting it to be probably around 16 to 20 volts because this was a 12 volt adapter when I started, but the AC voltage will obviously be a little bit higher than that. Okay, volts. Oh, we got nothing. Might help if I put it on AC volts. Oh, 22.4 volts. Okay, well that's probably okay. After all, it's just a Bang & Olufsen piece of crap. Do the same on this side. We'll trim the wire a bit, solder it on, and place this transformer in the base and see whether anything happens. I'm hoping that if it does work, that cartridge is okay, because B&O are one of these companies that you can't replace the cartridge, or you can't replace the stylus. You either got to replace and get them re-tipped, which costs a bloody fortune to get the tip redone on the cantilever, or you replace the entire cartridge, which is even more redonkulously expensive. If this works and the cartridge is no good, this thing's going to go up for sale, because I'm sure as hell not going to spend any money to replace a cartridge, because they're hundreds of dollars. Like, to get it just to get one re-tipped is a couple $100, and to buy a new cartridge is ridiculous. And unfortunately, you can't put anything else on these things. There's one cartridge and one cartridge only that fits on them, as you'll see when I show it to you. It's not a conventional mount. It's a B&O mount. Suckers that bought into B&O, bought into that into that system, and they're stuck with it because it's proprietary, and they're kind of stuck. If you're wondering why I'm calling Bang & Olufsen crap, it's because when I had to work on Bang & Olufsen crap, when I worked in the business, I absolutely hated every last one of them. They're the one brand that I just hated. That's better. Not easy to work on, and even harder to get parts for. Now I'll wrap this entire transformer up with a layer of tape. I remember when I was in the business, we had this one customer that kept bringing it was a AM/FM stereo receiver, and it was only about, I don't know, maybe an inch or so tall, about I guess about 20 inches long and about 8 or 10 inches deep. And every time their teenagers had a party, which seemed to happen every other weekend when the parents went skiing, they'd blow the stereo up and they'd bring the stereo in and whine and complain that it didn't work, and we'd have to fix it again. There. That ought to keep things relatively protected. I got so tired of working on this unit, changing the output transistors over and over and over. And the people that owned them were never nice people. They were always nasty. They always were complaining about one thing or another. I used to hate to see them come into the store, because every time they showed up, they were always complaining about one thing or another. It was usually about their B&O stereo. Come in and say, why does this thing blow up? Nobody else's stereo blows up. And it's like, well, maybe because you shouldn't have bought a piece of crap. And then they'd go off on about how much it costs. Yeah, I know. It was expensive. It doesn't mean it was good. Same with this. It's all plastic, right? I'm sure this turntable cost a small fortune when it was new. But look at all the plastic in it. Remember, this is AC, so polarity is not important. It's just going to fit. Hopefully this will fit in here. I think I can get the bottom on here. No problem. Like even the bottom cover, it's plastic. This whole thing, it's got little tiny metal plates. Bottom goes underneath. There's metal springs on the back here. You got to get the lip underneath, and then it will kind of snap into place. Wait till you'll see how light the platter is on this thing. Like, the idea behind a turntable is you want mass, but this doesn't have it. Really light duty, but guaranteed this thing was hundreds of dollars. There. I think that will hold it. Give me a Thorns or a Techniques or even a Dual. Dare I say a Gerard or a BSR over one of these things. Okay, the platter fell off. It's a belt drive, as you can see. It's a split turntable design. Your motor's just turning one great big pulley, and that auto mechanism's already operating. So let's just go through the motions here. We'll let the needle drop. And then stop. Okay. So at least the belt looks okay on this thing. I like this integrated 45 RPM adapter. Put the platter on there. Let's get this thing plugged into my amp, and we'll see whether I get any sound out of it. It's a good sign it moves. Excellent. Get any sound? That's the big one. I'm not sounding very good. Not sounding very good at all. Ugh. Granted, that record is kind of worn. I'm going to find another record, but that sounded awful. I'm getting bad vibes. That stylus is probably worn. We'll get the microscope up and look at the stylus on this thing. Let me go grab it and set it up. Okay, the stylus or the cartridge pulls off these. The whole cartridge comes off the end, like that. I say the stylus cannot be replaced on this. So we're going to take a look at this under the microscope. I've brought the microscope up on the bench here. Let me get focused in and we'll get a shot of that tip. Well, I don't even see a tip there. What the heck's going on here? This looks terrible. Turn on its side and take a look at the side view here. Is it just all dirty? Is it just crusted in crap? Maybe that's all that's wrong with it. Oh. Yeah, that don't look very good, does it? I don't know whether that's just dirt. Looks like it could just be crap on there. Holy smoke. That doesn't look very good though. No wonder it's all distorted. Let's try cleaning that tip. I don't know what the best way to clean one of these things is. A brush, maybe? It's saturated in dirt. For those of you wondering, I'm just using a toothbrush, very soft bristled toothbrush, and I'm not allowing any pressure at all. The edges of the bristles are just making contact to dissolve the dirt. But as you'll see, the actual stylus is worn right down on this one. Right, let me get the camera, let me get the microscope a little better focused there, but it's worn down completely. As you can see, I'm just very, very, very slightly touching it with that. Believe me, I'm not putting any pressure on there. I'm just letting the bristles just touch the cantilever and try to clean off. I think the diamond needle is missing is what's happened. Yeah, see, there's no stylus left. It's worn down to nothing. So this one would be a good candidate to be retipped, where they just put a new tip on there, because the cantilever itself is not damaged. If the cantilever here gets bent or damaged, then you're kind of foobar. You got to buy a whole new one. But this one might be a candidate to be retipped, because as you can see, the tip is worn right off on this thing. It's still going to be expensive though. Not something I'm going to do. I'm going to put this thing up for sale, because it needs to have the stylus retipped. That's where these microscopes come in really quite handy. Is you can look at that and see exactly where the problem is. There it is. The diamond tip is worn right off this needle. That explains why it sounds as bad as it sounds. Oh well. Cartridge just fits on just like that. I've cleaned it now. I wonder how much different it'll sound. It won't. It's gonna still sound like crap. Oh, sounds better than it did, but still sounds pretty bad. Start at 45, you press that side. That put it on at 45. Stop. Start. If you press the pause button, it would just lift it and stop. Wait for you. If you push the 33 side again, it would just continue where it left off. But anyway, yeah, that's that. Unfortunately, as you can see, the stylus is shot, and it wasn't broken by me because the whole time that I've had this thing, it's been sitting up like that in that little holder. So this is going to go back where it came from, back into storage. I'm actually going to put this thing up for sale and see if I can find someone to take it off my hands and let them know that, yeah, they're going to have to get a new needle for it. See, I called it a needle. Going to have to get it retipped or replace it with an MMC 20. I think that's the current one that replaces it. But anyway, that's Bang & Olufsen Beogram 1600, dead, transformer shot, replaced with the guts from a 12-volt DC wall wart. I just took the rectifier part off it and used the rectifier that's inside here. That's it. That's all you got to do to fix one of these things. Thanks for watching. Bye.